This is American Real. I am Roger Brooks. Welcome to the show.
This is American Real TV,
There's so much to talk to you about.
where everyone
You are a true inspiration.
has
We're all trying to do our part to change the world.
a story.
What's your mission? What do you want your legacy to be? You have such a great story. I cannot wait to share it. Welcome to the American Real family. I cannot wait to air this episode.
And now, here's your host, Roger Brooks.
Rick Applewhite is the founder and CEO of Bimini Hydrotherapy, Inc., and the best-selling author of Ringed Octopus. In this gripping medieval thriller, he takes readers to the South Pacific, where the protagonist, Jason, and his team race against time to save an island population from a deadly virus that threatens to go global. He spent his life embracing adventure through surfing, water skiing, and scuba diving. A proud Texan, Rick is a father to 3 children and a grandfather to 5. Today, we'll explore both his groundbreaking work in hydrotherapy and the fascinating story behind his compelling novel. Rick, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's great.
Since I gave you my my bio on 5 grandkids, I had two this past.
So you're
grandkids.
okay. All right. So we're up to 7.
7 grandkids.
Wonderful. So let's start there. The family is always the most important part of most of our lives, right? So how important is family to you?
It's very important to me. I grew up in a very good family. My dad was ex-military. My mom was a successful woman, businesswoman in the construction world. And that's a man's world. And she was involved in WICS, which is Women in Construction, and grew up in a very structured family. But we traveled a lot, and that's where I got my adventure for my adventure for travel from my dad. And then I got 2 boys that I raised them playing sports, and I was a high school, college basketball player, and played competitive ball till I was in my 50s, and but they all got into sports, and one was more of a team sport, Jason was, and Craig was more, had the adventure side of me, and he liked the surfing and the scuba and the water skiing, and riding 4-wheelers in the mountains. And then Bella's my stepdaughter. I raised her since she was 4 years old. But we taught her adventure too, and she's living up in Colorado now, up in the mountains. So and I actually, in my book on the Ringed Octopus, I based the personalities of the 3 characters in there after my kids. So
That's awesome.
in the book, it's Jason Falco, Craig Falco, and Bella Case. And Craig, Jason was always the brilliant one in school. Was always a leader. He was a great athlete. Top of his class, and took school very serious. Craig, my younger one, was I guess more like me in high school. We were there to play sports and have fun. And so he became the adventure one. And then Bella, my stepdaughter, she's very intelligent. She was a National Merit Honor scholar.
Wow.
And she's very, very bright, but she also, not going to say anything, say bad about her, but she didn't always make the right choices, and a lack of common sense sometimes. She seemed to always be in trouble. So even in the book, I have her that personality. So they come across a few dangers that were kind of Bella's fault.
Well, isn't that the fun of writing, right? To be able to create these characters, base them off maybe a real person like you did, and then just let your mind wander with it, with the story. That's the fun of writing, especially fiction.
Absolutely, because there's a lot of stories in the books that are based on some true stories. And I mean, in the book, they're marine biologists, and they have to try to save this island. And their work boat is called a 6-pack. And so when Jason was in school, his little group he hung around with, they were called a 6-pack, and it wasn't because they drank; it was because they all had 6-pack abs, and they had a competition to see who had the best abs. So little simple things like that I threw in the book that But
That's
and
fun.
one of the characters in the book is who they report to, and his name is Deke Parker, and that's named after my grandson Deacon. He likes to be called Deke, and then my oldest grandson is Parker. So I gave him the name. So yeah, when I did that, not gonna mean a lot to the readers out there, but I had fun, and gives you more passion when you write. So.
So give us some insight. A busy guy like you, what gave you the passion to actually put pen to paper and write this book?
When I was, I'm the kind of person that I'm motivated. When you tell me I can't do something, I'm gonna prove you wrong, and that I can do it. And I've been like that my whole life. And when I went through high school and college, English was not my best subject. I was very good in math and fraternities, but English was not my best subject. And when I got out into the business world, I took this aptitude test and I tested very high on it. And I realized that you didn't have to be book smart to be smart. And I was tested out that I have a very abstract reasoning mind, and so I identify problems, come up with solutions easy. And I was just sitting around one day, and it wasn't long after Hurricane Ike hit here. I just wanted to always write a novel, so I started writing. It took me a long time to write, but I finished it up last year. And I'd start, then get busy, start again, get busy, and I'd have to go back. And every time I go back and restart, I have to read it to see where I was and look at all my notes, to get back on. And I have a good imagination, and I just started putting notes down, kind of put an outline down on what I want to do, and that's what came out when I sat down to write a novel. I had no idea what I was going to write about, but that's what came out, and I had fun doing it. And it's I'm in this Bible study, and they you know everybody has to go around and teach a class, and it's the one who learns the most is the one who has to study to teach the class. And so writing a book was the same way. I didn't know there's a lot of stuff I didn't know about, especially how to make a vaccine, and how to work a boat offshore, and all that. So you do a lot of studies, and I had to learn about the islands over in the South Pacific and what the people are like, and it's very educational. And I learned a tremendous amount from just putting the book together.
That sounds like it, and I could relate because I do the same thing myself. Just wrote my first book of fiction, so I know what you mean. Uh, what was it like to hold that book when it was done and published? How'd that feel?
I got it, and the thing that hit me the hardest first is the gentleman that works for you. His name was Roger, and the cover he came up with was unbelievable. And I was proud there. But then when you finish the book, it's I've been working on this for years, and it was one of those things that was I ever going to finish it? Was I ever going to finish it? And I was down in Costa Rica, down there this past year, and I was just sitting on the balcony watching the sun go down, and I told myself I was stupid for not finishing it. So the next weekend I got home, I locked myself in my place, and I stayed awake for about 30 hours straight,
Wow.
and all I had was 7 chapters to go. And as you know, writing a book, I rewrote them about 3 different times till I got the version that I liked. And then when I got y'all published it, and I got my first one in the hand, I just you know it was like holding your first child that you ever had up in your hand. It's just it's a feeling that you got to experience it to even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're 100% right. Oh, well, congratulations. And the book I know became a bestseller on Amazon, so congratulations for that.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So, shifting gears a little bit, I know you're not in Texas right now. We talked about it offline. Can you tell everyone where you are and what's happening
Yeah.
this evening?
Well, I have a technology that's called Bimini Nanojet technology, and we've created some technology that we can break oxygen, pure oxygen, down to point less than zero point 0.1 micron. And on the nanobubble scale, the scale's 50 to 0 to 50 microns. You can't see below 40 microns, and we're down zero point 0.1 on the average 0.02. So what that means in 1 milliliter of water, we get 2 to 300 million bubbles, and we saturate, a tub, a spa. We can even do a pool, and we're working with Rice University. We have working with a number of NFL players. We're working with chiropractors. And what you do is you sit in this comfortable bath, and you know how hyperbaric chambers can increase your oxygen. Well, they pressurize it, and it goes into your lungs where you're taking more oxygen in, and then it perfuses through your body. We go directly into the skin. So we can perfuse directly into the areas. We're working with professional athletes. We're showing that we're improving the performance of them, in recovery time by 60%, and injury players are getting back. But we're also working with the Elderly Alzheimer's Association, people with neuropathy. They put their feet in there, and we can perfuse oxygen where the body's. That's what makes ours disruptive. We can perfuse oxygen where the body's having a hard time perfusing,
Hmm.
and then we're enhancing it. And Rice University been doing all our studies for the last 3 or 4 years, and we're getting wonderful results out there. But there's a one of the partners that I work with. They're sponsoring Lamont Roach Jr., which was a flyweight champ, and he's moved up to lightweight. And tonight at the Barclays Center, he's fighting Tank Davis at the center. And since the Dang family and I don't know how many people are jury people, but it's Johnny Dang and Kevin Dang, and Johnny Dang's kind of the celebrity in the jewelry world. They call him the grill guy, and they're really active in promoting athletes, and they've learned about our technology, and they're out promoting our technology. So we got a system to Lamont Roach a month ago, and I got invited to come sit ringside with Lamont's team tonight, the Dang family. So it's an experience for me. The first time in my life I've ever been boxing that close to the boxing world. So
Well, that's awesome. And I don't think they would have invited you if the device wasn't making a difference for him. So that's
yeah,
really
no, I took it out there. Everybody, he was like, "Okay, tell me what this did." But after you do one session, he called and said, "I feel great."
hmm.
And we have some big time athletes. For the basketball fans out there, go look at Kyrie Irving the last 8 weeks of the season last year and through the playoffs and how he's playing this year. Oh, he got one of our Bimini systems, with 8 weeks left, and he has gone off. Has made him feel like he's a young man again. And Gabby Thomas, she's the Olympic women's track sweetheart. We were working with her Dr. Bob Meyer out of Austin, and so we got her a system, and we set it up at the house, got a video of her taking it out, and we have it on our Instagram. And the deal we made with her, and she did one session in it and saw the magic of it. And the deal we made with her, she said, "Y'all can't use that video until I make the Olympic team. Once I make the Olympic team, you can use that video. But I don't want any of the girls I'm competing with to know about it." So she did that, and she actually took the system with her to the Olympics this year, and shared it with some of the other women track that she was running with, and they had a wonderful Olympics this year. So we would like to give credit to Bimini, but
That's awesome.
she's a top athlete. So,
Wow.
but
I'm thinking, someone like LeBron James may want this for himself,
yeah, we're working on getting in the leagues. Our favorite one is Tyler Biotis. He was all pro center for the Cowboys. He's the one that has gotten us into the NFL. He bought a system. So what he claimed is he's an offensive lineman, and you have all these nagging injuries you have to live with because you can't tell those nagging injuries to the trainer because you don't want a long injury report. So a lot of those
I
nagging injuries you got to take care of yourself. and it's a great recovery tool. So he said he goes through the season without those nagging injuries. He's with the he went with Dan Quinn. He's with the he's starting center for the Washington Commanders now.
Okay.
And but he was so impressed with our technology. He called me, and I went up to Dallas to meet him. And he was one of my early investors in my company, and he's got his parents one, and he's our best spokesperson for it. So.
That's awesome. No, and you mentioned earlier about neuropathy. My dad has that. So, you know, how could it help people like, say, my dad?
Well, with this we can treat all different. We can treat you in submerged in a tub in a spa, but we've recently discovered through some of our doctors out there that all you do is put your feet. We got a 20-gallon bucket of water that we saturate with oxygen. Put your feet in there, and we use cerebral oximeters to measure the saturated oxygen of the tissue in your body, which is called SMO2. And just with your feet, up to just below your knees, we can distribute oxygen through your body. And with the neuropathy, and we don't claim we cure anything. To me, it's a way of life. We're just oxygenating, and it takes the inflammation down. Oxygen is the best healer in the body, and it's just we're doing some wonderful things. People with gout come in, and they usually live 3 or 4 weeks with gout. They, 2 or 3 days, they're back to normal, and and for me, it's a way of life. I do it. I'm a former high school. I played junior college basketball. I played competitive ball till I was 53 years old, and after about 7 surgeries, the doctors told me I should take up golf and not basketball. and I stopped playing basketball, and I put quite a bit of weight on, and I had tremendous pain from inflammation. And when my son, we developed this for water treatment, and the way we found out that it might have medical benefits, we treated a pool, an Olympic-sized swimming pool, and they had because they were having an algae problem, and they had a fundraiser out there that day, and a gentleman that had just run an Ironman came over there and told his buddy he wasn't going to be able to participate in anything. He was going to sit in the corner of the pool after an hour and a half. He wanted to know what was in that water. He said it was fully recovered. So we started doing that, and then my son told me about it, and so we developed one in Houston. In a Whitehall, they're one of our partners. Whitehall stainless steel tub, the old athletic tub. We did our first ones in there, and I sat out it, and I'm not going to say it made me lose weight, but it took my inflammation away. I'm at the gym every day, and I'm 66 years old, and I'm doing things that you know, I was doing at 40 years old. So
So, do you have different devices? Like, is there a at-home device, say,
yeah,
for?
yeah, we have a home use. It kind of looks very similar to an oxygen concentrator, and you set it next to your tub. You throw the hose in there, turn it on, wait about 4 or 5 minutes, and your tub is thoroughly oxygenated. We have a larger system. You can kind of see over my shoulder there in the background, and those are the ones we have at spas, at universities. And they can do from a 4-man tub up to at Rice University. They got about a 18-man spa up there, and we treat up to there. And the trainers like it because they don't have to sell their athletes on it. They know how they recover. And I got pictures of Rice University. They're in the football teams in there with their floats and floating around the tub. And then we've come out with a tub that it kind of looks like a cold plunge tub, and it has our technology built in it. And some people still like cold water, but we can go from 40 degrees up to 104 degrees and have oxygen in there. And then we have the big systems that we can do all the way up to an Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have a new system that's going to be coming out this year that's a travel unit. And then through the Dang family, who I'm out here they're big into the spa industry. So we're going to be developing one. It's just going to be a comfortable chair that you put on there. It'll be some other modalities, some brainwave modalities that will go along with it. And then we've also come out, it's called Bimini Pure O2. It's a facial wash, and it's a highly oxygenated water, and we're finding out, biggest challenge with oxygen, any kind of oxygen water, it gases off. But since ours are so small and ultrafine, it's a form of energy. So we're doing shelf life tests now. So we're up to four months on a shelf life on it, and we're working with a lot of influencers out, and we're getting great results on that. So
Man. So did you ever, before you and your son went to that event? I mean, this wasn't this even you weren't doing this, right? So how long has it been since then?
that was about 7 years ago. So uh, one of my companies, Laser Imaging, we were into 3D printing and additive manufacturing. And when my son got out of college, he came to work for me, and he became a 3D printing expert. And then he does engineering work too. And we helped named Dr. Meyer Dav. We helped Dr. Dav develop this technology for waste treatment. And they use it in the medical marijuana industry that the plants grow healthier. They use it in fish farms. The fish grow healthier and big. They use it for some waste treatment facilities. And then once we found out that it had benefits in there, we took over the medical side of it. His company is the waste treatment side, so we're partners in it, and we do the medical side, and they do the waste treatment side, and that was about 7 years ago, and about 4 years ago we realized that it had medical benefits, and then and it with the new technology you just can't rush to market, so we spent a couple of years doing the studies on it.
Yep.
We got delayed by the pandemic, and actually the pandemic helped us develop another system. So when the Houston Rockets were going to the bubble down there, Russell Westbrook was hurt, and the system we had, you had to get a tub with it. Well, they wanted one that they could just throw in a bathtub in a hotel, so that's when we modified it and made it a self-priming system, which led to the home unit and we're going to come out. We're working one that's going to be a travel unit that's going to come out. And then we got future plans to put, and I'm working with some very good doctors in the wellness world. We want to put Bimini, we've created Bimini Wellness Centers of America. And, I just don't want to, treat the wealthy. I want to treat everybody. So I want to put wellness centers around where, you know, people will have access to this. And then we'll use some other modalities that goes along with it. Very good.
That's awesome. I mean, you must be just so happy with the results over the past several years. I could just see, in our short conversation, how much it's developed in a short period of time.
Well, Roger, I've been, I started in corporate America. I got recruited away to do a couple of startups with some venture capital. And, they sold out, got their millions. I got my little bonus check, thank you. And I said, I'll never work for anybody else again.
Yeah.
And that was 1998. And so I've done, we've had laser imaging. We started out as a toner company, became a copier company, and then we got into additive manufacturing. I've done some commercial real estate. And then when we developed this is the first time in my life that the number one thing I'm thinking is how much money am I going to make on here? This is I have a passion for this, and that's why I'm still working, and I probably won't ever retire. But this is a technology that we can improve the quality of life of people all over the world. So, and it's a passion that I've never had before in business, and it's not about the money. It's not about the money. It's about you know we had one lady. Her name's Jessica. She's one of our favorite ladies. She had she's 8 years into cancer. She should have died 4 years ago. She's learned the power of the brain, and she refused to die because she wanted to see her grandkids grow up. And but she'd gotten to the point where her pain was so bad that she couldn't walk, she couldn't get around anymore. She scheduled a vacation to do celebration of life, and she was going to come back from vacation and go die. And her doctor heard about our technology and wanted her to try it. She came over. Her son had to drive her over, help to get her out of the car, and she couldn't even step up the curb. They had to walk her up the handy ramp, and and Jason, my son, and her son had to lift, walk her up the stairs and help her get into the pool, and she did a session, and they got her out, and she called the next day, and she was so excited. She said she could walk across the room, and so she comes by 3 times a week, uh, and she just walks in, even if we're not there, and we tell her make herself feel at home. If no one's up front, she'll come in and she'll holler this to Jessica. She's driving herself. She's stepping up our big curve by herself, and she's climbing up the steps to that tub right behind me. That's right behind me, and she's getting in the tub, and she changed her vacation to instead of celebration of life, it's a celebration of hope, and she's not going to give up.
Wow, what a great story. That's incredible.
But
And that's
she's
what I could see why you're doing it, right? You're changing lives, literally. Oh, that's awesome. So the technology itself, do you like, is this something you could or have applied for a patent for? Like, is it
yeah.
unique to the marketplace?
We have several patents on it. It's the patent. What's patented is the device that breaks the. We use a regular oxygen concentrator to take ambient air in. We convert it to medical oxygen, which is 85 to 95% oxygen. And then we have our patented device that we process the water and the oxygen through, and that's what breaks all the bubbles down on. And then as every new design that we come out with, we're getting the patents on.
Great. And these products that you're developing, like you mentioned, for the skin or for the face, how does that work? Are you using one of these devices to create the product?
Yeah, we're always improving technology. Jason and Dr. Dev designed a new, very similar. That's just a newer version of this. So instead of getting the 2 to 300 million bubbles per milliliter water, we're getting around 5 to 600 million bubbles a milliliter water, and then that's the water we're using as our facial products. But we're also working with a water company that they have devices that we're using that I mean, if everybody looked at what's in tap water that comes out and all the bacteria in there, and saw the pages and pages and pages of bacteria that's in just tap water, you'd wonder how we survived.
Hmm.
Uh, Guys our age, it's that's probably why our immune system's so strong.
Yeah,
But
right.
it's a great technology, and so we have a very pure water, and it's full of oxygen, and all you do is we recommend that you use it in the morning and the afternoon. The ladies love it. If you have acne, and all that oxygen going in is killing all the bacteria in your pores. We recommend the ladies take their makeup off and then do this as the last step before they go to bed. Uh, we found out some of the guys, some of the dealers that we're working with that are reselling it. They keep it on their desk, and they use it to on their face when they become lethargic after lunchtime, and it like gives them some energy
Energy.
again.
Wow,
And
that's great. And is that product on the market yet?
yeah, that is. It's we have a web page. It's BiminiPureO2.com,
Okay.
and then our other one's BiminiHydrotherapy.com, and that's the products. But the oxygen waters, we sell it in 30-day kits. It's around $45 in a 60-day kit on it. So and
Nice.
that's out to market right now. So
Have you experimented with teens or young adults as far as acne? You mentioned acne earlier.
we have a group of doctors in that we work with, and in Rice University. We're just at the tip of the iceberg on what this technology can do. So our studies have been, and we're working with a doctor that he's out of Rice University, and he was with NASA for years, and his expertise is in improving human performance, not just athletes and human performance. So all of our studies right now are based on human performance and you know taking pain away. We have a whole list of studies we're going to do in the future. We're working with an Alzheimer's Association, to see what, because we prove that we can increase the oxygen in your brain. So, and what happened out at Rice University, the first year they did a test, they used the track athletes and the volleyball players and some of the girls softball players. Well, track, that's an easy measurement. You have a time. So, and all the colleges we've gotten into, we tell them using their track, and you got guys going out and setting their personal best, after them they give the energy.
Wow.
But we're doing all kinds of studies, and we have a whole study coming up. We want to do, studies on. We're working with the Boxing Association, and one thing out at Rice that Dean Miller discovered out at Rice is the football players that were doing the Bimini test. They use a Are You Fit technology to measure the reaction time of players. And then football at the beginning of the season, that reaction is very high. As the season goes on, it gets very low because of the head-on hits. Well, the football players that were doing the Bimini test, their reaction times improved
Hmm.
on there. And so we got some very brilliant doctors that we're going to do, and then we're working with the Boxing Association, to see what increased oxygen does, because it's a healing agent, and so maybe we can help these boxers, and I'm friends with Sweet Reggie Johnson. He's a three-time world boxing champ. And he's 58 years old, but you can tell his memory's starting to go. But he comes over all the time and gets in the tub and says his mind feels like all the brain fog and confusion's gone when he comes to get in there. And that group of athletes out at Rice, because Rice is considered an Ivy League school of the South, they track everything out there, and because they have to make sure they don't overload their athletes with too much because of their the school curriculum is so tough. But on the average of all those athletes that were doing that test that first year, all their grades improved just because of the clarity. The football players in the NFL that have it on the day that they go in for films, that 6, 7 hours going over the films in a room, that they'll go do the tub before that because it takes you get your mind's real clear when you get out there. When I have a big day that I know I have a lot of conference calls, I'll go do a 30 minutes in the morning, and I'll go in there with a clear brain. So
That's so great. Do you ever see this going to some type of a drinking water? Would there be any benefit there?
yes, we have a company we're working with that's using our technology to develop a drinking water. They're having some good success with it. We're just waiting for some more studies on that, and then we will be releasing that too. So
Man, I can't wait for 5 years from now to look back and say, I knew you then. Because I see this, really
yeah,
becoming something and really to help people. That's what I love about it. It's
and
that's
one of the exciting things, and I'll read his title, but Jay Campbell is he's a powerful global voice for health optimization. And he's big into biohacking. And we had our technology out at the longevity show, which is the biggest show of the year out in Vegas in December. He came by, he saw our technology. He actually experienced it. We had the buckets out there. He put his team on, and we had him talk to the doctors out at Rice University. And then he had his team interview my son for an hour. And so he has picked Bimini as his biohacking best technology of the year for 2025. And he just bought his own system, got it at home. So we're going to be working with him, and he's going to be promoting our product. And he's a world leader, and there's alternatives ways to stay healthy. So
yeah. Wow, Rick, this has been a very enlightening conversation. I'm sure our listeners and viewers are going to, benefit a lot from this. We'll post the websites, but anything else, any new projects or products you want us to know that we haven't talked about?
no, I think we covered everything. I've always my whole life been a solution provider. So we keep coming up with new products. I'm working. I can't say who it is now, but I'm working with one industry that we had never even thought about, and it's through the Dang family here that we're working on develop some new technology that'll fit their industry, and all I want to do is put oxygen in the people's body. If you have time, I'll share my first experience of oxygen.
Please.
So I went to a junior college, Northwoods Junior College, to play basketball, and it was in 1978. I went up there. I earned the spot as a shooting guard, and we were about 2.5 weeks away from the season starting, and I was a dummy, and I went down to the 8 foot basket outside down by the swimming pool and was acting like I was Dr. J. And I stepped off the edge of the curb and I blew my ankle up. And I went to the hospital and I was a severe sprung. I was on crutches for 10 solid days, going to the trainer, doing hot water, cold water, hot water, cold water. Wasn't getting any better. And I befriended a gentleman. His name was Bunyan. He was from Taiwan and he was over there on a study program, and there were 10 of them for Taiwan over there. They were all fifth degree black belts. But Bunyan was, to this day, still one of the most brilliant people I've ever met in my life. But Bunyan kept telling me, Rick, I fixed your ankle. I fixed your ankle. I said, no, touch my ankle. And I was laying in bed and he saw me struggling. He saw me 10 days on crutches. And I was laying in bed one evening studying. And Bunyan and nine little black belt guys came barging into my room. They pinned me down on the bed. They put a pair of socks in my mouth, and they took this Asian bomb, and you couldn't even touch my ankle. But for a solid hour, they took turns vigorously massaging my ankle, and I've never been in so much pain in my life. I rolled over, I cried myself to sleep, and I got up that next morning to go to the bathroom, and bathroom door was right outside my door, and I went to grab my crutches and I put my ankle down. First time in 10 days I could stand on my ankle. I could actually limp to the bathroom, and I came back in. I put my baseball cap on, got my crutches, and hauled Buns down to the mess hall down there, and I found Bunyan, and I sat down at his table, and I said, "What the heck happened?" And he told me, he said, "Rick, Americans are baby. Y'all like to use the hot water, cold water. Said, we've been treating this way for thousands of years over in Asia. All we did was massage your ankle, got your blood flowing, and it's the oxygen in your blood that healed your ankle, that's going to heal your ankle." And I said, "Well, how many times a day can we do this?" I put my own sock in my mouth. And he said, "You do it once a day." And I didn't tell the trainer. And I was really upset with the coach because, you know, I'd become a starting spot. But once I was hurt and I was going to be done for half my season, they didn't give, I had to go fix my own hot water, cold water. They wouldn't give me a time of day. But I didn't tell any of them that. And on the sixth day, I walked, and all those days I didn't need them, but I walked in with my crutches because I didn't want them to know what I was doing. And Bunyan treated me every single day, once a day for 5 days. On the sixth day, I walked into the trainer's room and I had my shoe on, and I told him I'm ready to play. He said, "Get out of here, Applewhite. Don't waste my time." And I started running around the trainer's room, and he said, "Wow." I said, and I got down and took my shoe off here, take my ankle up. I'm going on there, and we didn't have a gym, so we shared the gym with Cedar Hill High School, which is about 5 miles away. And I said, "You driving me to practice or I'm driving myself?" He said, "I'll drive you." And I go over there and I walk up to the coach and told him I was ready to play. He told me, get out of here, Applewhite. He goes, and he looked at it and the trainer said, "Why you bring him here?" And I grabbed the ball out of the coach's hands. I started running around and they were taking a break between drills. And I started running around the court, going up, and they were looking at me, and they brought me along slowly. They didn't let me scrimmage for 2 days, but I didn't miss a game that year. I was the second leading scorer on the team. But on the day that I did that, we got back in, and I went back in to have the trainer cut the tape off, and the coach came storming in and wanted to know what happened. And I was still upset with him because of the way they've been treating me. And he looked at the trainer and said, "I have no idea." And they looked at me, and I said, I just have one piece of advice for y'all." I said, "You can take that hot water, that cold water, throw it away. You need to get you an Asian dude in here." And I walked out. I didn't tell him what I did till the next day. And then when Jason was a senior in high school, he was on the baseball team, and our ace pitcher stepped off the mound and blew his ankle up, and I was doing the PA system for the games, the press box, and his dad was doing the scoreboard and the music. And and his son was one of our best pitchers. He stepped off the mound and he was done. He was going to be done for the rest of the district, and he was working on trying to get a scholarship, to St. Mary's in San Antonio there. And I told his dad about this, and they called every Asian doctor they could out in Sugar Land, Texas, and they found a doctor that do that, and he was back. He was back pitching a week later. So
Amazing.
that was my first experience of oxygen back in 1978, and who knew I would end up in oxygen?
Wow.
Doing this for a living, but you didn't have to explain it to me because Bunyan explained it to me years ago. So
Yeah. Well, it looks like it all came full circle for you, and here you are. And wow, what a pleasure to spend time with you today, Rick. I really appreciate it. Welcome to the American Real family. Congratulations on your book. And what's the best way for people to reach you? We'll put the website there. Any
well,
other?
I have my website. It's Applewhite 20.com. That's my basketball number for years. So Applewhite20.com.
Awesome.
And it's got a link to Amazon, or you can go to Amazon and just type in Blue Ringed Octopus and Rick Applewhite, and it'll show up. Or just type in Blue Ringed Octopus, it'll show up. So
Awesome. Awesome.
I appreciate Roger. I appreciate what y'all did for me. Y'all have a wonderful company. I've enjoyed working with everybody at your company.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being a great client, and thank you for coming on the show today.
But give your other Roger kudos because he did a great job on my cover. I was blown away when I saw that the first time. So
I definitely will. Thanks so much, Rick.
all right, thank you, Roger. Enjoyed it.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to American Real. For more stories like this one, be sure to stop by AmericanReal.tv. Follow us on all social media to stay up to date with everything American Real. We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and contact one of our publishing experts if you're ready to publish your book and become a best-selling author.